Right before the command, we're just going to do the same thing. User 1000, we're going to go ahead and hit save. Now, in certain applications, you might find that this isn't enough, right? Maybe you do have to do a little bit more, but taking the information from our vulnerability report allows us to go in and really see, is this something that we can implement, or how can we better mitigate this potential security flaw? I'll do it again on our image classifier and drop down into our Docker file here. You can see this one is actually .NET Core, but we'll still drop down. This is actually an interesting image, so you can take a look. First off, we're setting some arguments. That's why you see arg right up here at the top. We have our SDK tag, our runtime, our image. All of those are arguments that we're setting that we can actually change at build time. We can use the build-arg flag to override that, or we can hard code it in our Docker file as we're doing. And then we're actually using what's called a multi-stage Docker file. So this sets us up for even a greater success, or even more additional success. This is just our base image. This is going to be what we actually need to start building our application or our dependencies. A lot of times what we need at build is not what we need at runtime. So we can have a safer and more secure image when we implement multi-stage Docker files, so long as it makes sense for the architecture of the application. We can build our actual DLL file prior to ever running it, and then at runtime, all we need is the runtime software, right? We don't need the actual SDK and the entire package. We can slimify or slim down that image. So you have our base image where we're just going to set everything up for what we're going to need. We pass that off to our build image. So now we're going to take our from, and we're going to actually create our build DLL files. We're copying everything over from our build props directory, our build directory. We're setting a project working directory, and then we're actually running our .NET restore and our .NET build commands. And notice this line right here on line 26, this part where we do -o/app, we're putting that output in /app. And that's important because when we get down to not only publishing, we're again putting that in -o/app, but specifically our final layer. This is our final image. This is actually, these 5 lines right here is actually what's running in the container. You can see from base as final, we're going to copy from /app. So we're copying what we built and what we published. And then we're also copying our model files from our build. Any one of these, the build that we have or published, corresponds to the name of whatever the name of the stages. So we have publish right here, and then we have build right here. So we're copying the output from that and then just running our application. So now our image is ridiculously slimmed down as opposed to just having all of this baked into one. So right before we actually run this, we can put down here, we're going to set that to user 1000, and we'll simply hit save. Now we could keep going on down the list and do this for all the others. Just to show you the point and show you how healthy images look, let's go ahead and start checking in these Docker files, check in any of the ones that we've saved. Add this, and we're going to say update to non-root permissions, and we're going to go ahead and check this in. Now, once we check this in, we actually have a pipeline in play, thanks to GitHub Actions, that's going to go ahead and handle building all of these images and actually pushing them over into Azure, where Azure is going to automatically scan those images and see if we've resolved some of those identifying factors, right? Some of those identifying problems. So let's flip over to GitHub Actions and let's go ahead and watch that kind of build, and then we'll take a look at Azure Security Center. All right, so here we have our pipeline running. You can see that it's still finishing up, pushing some of the last of our images, but it built our new images that we just updated. It built our cart API, we worked on our coupon, we worked on our image classifier. It's just going down the list of all the different images that are associated with the microservices. And on each task, and we'll talk more about this pipeline and what this GitHub Actions workflow is doing in our next demo, but each task in particular is not only building our images, but it's also pushing it over into Azure Container Registry where it can be scanned. So for example, you can see on how it's going through and it's building each one of our stages. Specifically, if we take a look at line 49 in the logs here, you can see right there where it's building that user 1000 layer within our Docker file. So let's hop on over into Azure Container Registry, specifically in Security Scanner, and take a look, or Security Center, pardon me, and take a look at the images that now exist. If we drop down into our registry itself, we'll see all 11 of our repositories that correspond to all 11 images within